Oh guys, we got our steak. I'm going to go home and cook it now. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Teenager Who Cooks. Today I'm going to be making this big Porterhouse steak that I just bought from a local butcher. We're going to be reverse searing it today, which means we're going to start it in the oven and finish by searing it in the pan. And it's going to be very, very epic, so let's get started. Now, the first step will be actually unwrapping our steak, so we can look at the beautiful Porterhouse steak that is inside. Wow, very, very nice. Take it out here, just so you guys can look at it. You can see the very clear T shape of the bone right there. Got the tenderloin. Wow. Oh, so the first thing we're gonna want to do to this guy, just give it a generous sprinkling of salt all around. So, just want to make sure that our steak is properly seasoned. Definitely want, with a big hunk of steak like this, you want to definitely add enough salt. So, just get it on all sides. And now after you're done with that, you can just go ahead and add black pepper to all the sides as well. Now of course you can do this to taste. If you like a bit more salt or a bit more black pepper, then you can add however much you want. So. And you want to make sure you get the sides as well, because there's a lot of area to season it on the sides. And just like that, this is ready to go into the oven. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I put my Porterhouse steak on this little rack. You can use a bigger rack if you want. And then now I'm just going to insert this temperature probe in the middle of the steak. And now it's ready to go in the oven. So I have my temperature probe set at around 125 degrees. You can do like 5 degrees less if you want a more medium rare, or like 5 degrees more if you want more well done. But I'm gonna go for about a medium cooking. So we're gonna head into the oven. And now the oven right now is 225 degrees. So we're just gonna cook it until it hits this set temperature. And you can cook it for at like a lower temperature if your oven actually allows that. It will just take longer to cook, but you'll have a more evenly cooked steak. So. Now just like that, we can wait for our steak to bake. Alright guys, so my thermometer has hit like around 125 degrees. So that's enough for me. I'm going to now take the steak out of the oven. See, it looks pretty good already. And just, oops, I'm gonna carefully take this out. Nice. And then now it's time to get this steak seared. So I have my pan kind of heated up over here. Now the first thing I want to do is add just a bit of oil. So this is just some oil that can take a very high temperature. I'm using canola right now. So you just want to heat up, get the oil really, really hot on the pan. And we're going to start searing it on the pan. So I'm gonna set that in. Now with a big Porterhouse steak like this, you're gonna want to add butter, because if you don't add butter, the bone will actually stick out from above the steak and you won't get an even cook. So butter just allows you to cook the meat evenly all the way around. So we're just gonna add butter. This is about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Now we're just gonna let this sear nicely on the pan. And so now that our butter is basically melted, I'm just gonna add in 2 sprigs of rosemary. This is actually rosemary from my backyard. I just picked it outside, so it's really strong. I don't need to add too much. And then I also like to add just some garlic. Now you want the heat as high as possible. You want the pan to be really hot. Press down the steak, give it a nice sear. You can see our steak has already developed a really nice sear on the back. Now I'm just gonna flip it. And if you flip the steak often enough, you don't have to actually smooth the butter around the pan. Just make sure you flip it often enough so that all the sides are evenly cooked. You can already see it's browning really nicely, it's searing really nicely. You can see how nice that sear is. Amazing. Wow. Now I'm just gonna wait for the other side to sear just a bit more. And I'm actually gonna want to make sure to sear the edges as well. There's a lot of flavor on those edges and you want to sear it and make sure to bring it all out. And I brush the rosemary with some butter on top. And nice. I'm gonna flip it and sear the edges now. And just like that, our steak is basically done. So now we're just going to take it out of the pan and cut it up. Perfect. So right now it's on the cutting board and we're going to let it rest just for like a few minutes. Just so that all the juices can be reabsorbed back into the steak and we can let it do some like finishing cooking. Okay, so the first step of course is cutting our steak. So I'm just going to go along the bone here. Sort of slice away at it. And already see inside it looks absolutely amazing. Let me cut it open just a bit more. And now, I'm just going to cut it this way. And you can see that amazing color. You can see how there's just a tiny bit of sear on the outside, while the inside is perfectly medium. My goodness, that is amazing. I'm just gonna cut up all the other pieces now, and I want to make sure to cut this part off. This part is very nice and help the cooking. It's like butter, it cuts open. Amazing. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode of Teenager Who Cooks, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one while I try out this amazing steak.